a big fight. We actually did pretty good in combat.
Okay, I know it's been like 4 months since we've had session, but I do still have this written down. Like, I actually...
You've had this prepped for so long.
There's the water elemental, and then the rage goblins, and then someone got raged, and then we like had to collectively shove mushrooms in their mouth.
So last time we left off, the parties, as in two, because the last time we left off, Sunday and Saturday had a crossover session, in which Saturday afterwards put one session later, and I quote, "We will never go to the same fucking city as them again." And they booked it out of the city, but that's post session. So yeah, last time we left off, the parties had a small crossover with Saturday, in which ended up benefiting both parties quite a bit, with both parties managing to secure the lower cave tunnels after a massive attack on the city of Shrimp Purser's last hold, and a surprise visit from the celebrity druid, the Anvil, who I apparently in my drunken writing put celerity. I don't know. Okay.
As you have Chess there to edit your notes.
I know, right? As the two leaders would find their meeting interrupted by a star-struck party, no other members would be more struck than when Kesnanok would find himself smashed into a wall after a strange explosion would happen within the West Wind Clinic. With the party being at the center of yet another attack, the people's concern seemed to grow. Though with the help of the Ironheart Merchant Company, the party was able to secure the tunnels below to once again allow for both mana and health potions to be crafted within the city, with a greater attack on the horizon. If Kesnok's vision interpretation is correct, then the party can expect to find themselves once again at the forefront of a political and military attack against this city. Well, as we return back, having last left off in probably like January, guys. Yeah. Do you guys remember you had characters? Holy shit. We have a wild Pierre just listening in the background as his airship circles the city, scaring the shit out of its people once more.
Oh my god.
So
I think he's a larger concern than from what we are, I'll be honest.
Ain't that the truth? Sorry, what were you saying,
Guys, bad news. I didn't show up with a character. I just showed up with this rock with googly eyes.
Yeah.
Cool.
So before we get into it, because last time we left off, you guys were just heading to bed at the inn in the city, and I believe it was the last Breath Adventuring Guild. You guys had just spent the night. Were spending the night of. Was there anything you guys wanted to do in the night? I know this is mostly to heal up some injuries and kind of kick back, and I know that. And you'll have to forgive me, because I only remember some of the characters. Caleb, it's been a month. What was your character's name again?
Uldren.
Uldren, that's right. Is there anything you wanted to mention, Uldren, before the party wakes up and goes down for breakfast?
So I technically wouldn't have gotten the information from them.
Correct.
So there is nothing I can do besides wrap up my training of my feet.
Are you gonna give up your long rest to train a feat? You will take a point of exhaustion. Okay, want to make sure. All right. Yeah. So as a lot of you headed to bed after the adventure the previous day, having met that strange fiend down in the mines named Jakix, who had given you his card. Yeah, and as you lot, Essa for reference, Dom, as you lot would, the next day, find yourselves awakening to the smell of coffee and fresh ham, cooked below. You each coming down, from your rooms, finding yourselves a nice table, food being brought out, coffee being set to the table as a giant pitcher. You see the other party, the Ironheart Merchant Company of James, Rolliman, and Essa, sitting at another table, kind of minding their own business as you lot kind of start to gather. As you lot start to kind of really sit down and get into your meal and start to talk, I'll give Uldren a second to get comfortable. Okay, cool. As you guys take a second to kind of get comfortable, you see as the fiendish, well-dressed merchant, Jakix Morin in his bright red outfit, comes walking in, his skin still as, red as ever, his eyes kind of, darting across the area. However, under his arm, or rather, his arm around her waist, given her height, is a large, or to you lot, a very young-looking and average height frost giant, who seems to wear a bandana across her eye and be carrying or have a necklace that has a giant gravestone on it with the words, or with the divine name of Oat carved into the gravestone. You see, it seems to look like some sort of holy symbol, similar to the one that Kesnanok that you carry. While you see the other party kind of takes a second, seeing this group kind of walks in, you see Roman kind of scarfing down the last of his meal as James and Essa kind of stand up, seeing what's going on. Roman tips the plate up, finishing off the last bite, and they seem to head out of the guild immediately as they pass by. The Jakix and this frost giant woman seem to kind of just sit down at the bar and just kind of order their drinks as a gal serves them. Bolov is nowhere to be seen.
Is this the time where my new weapon would be delivered? Like, I'd be waiting for me?
Yeah, it was waiting for you as of the... it would have been waiting at your door when you got up in the morning.
Oh, yeah, so I'm just looking at this definitely weird new weapon that I got from, and so I'm just looking it over, seeing what it's all about. Might consecrate it later, don't know.
Feeling silly, might consecrate it later.
Might delete later. I don't know. Felt cute in this pic. Felt cute in this painting, might burn it later.
As you look over your items, Jakix kind of smiles over after the food's brought out and starts drinking his coffee and goes, you there, as he points over at Dom. You're a big fan of Oat's followers and worshippers, correct? I've heard a lot of tales about your interest in their group.
I'm gonna lean over to Aldrin and be like, who the fuck is Oats?
You said...
He goes, yeah, I heard you, or he looks over, or Jakix looks over at you and goes, I heard you're a big, interested in Oat, you're interested in his followers and worshippers, as he looks over at Dom.
Trying to remember, is this the guy we saved from the water elemental last session?
That Aldrin did.
Okay, I was trying to remember how to spell this dude's name in my notes, because I could not for life of me figure out.
Is it Oats, okay, like the grain?
That hit Oat, as in...
As well.
From your backstory, the
Oats. Yep. No, I know what you're talking about, but I wasn't actually confused.
Oats, like this.
So, Dom is going to look over, glance at the frost giant woman, glance at this guy, and just kind of cock a brow, and it's just like... I'm trying to remember the voice. You mean those mysterious kobold types from the south? I'm familiar, I mean... Me and Utham were around there when he was on his hunting expeditions. I don't know why you're asking me about it. That was years ago.
He just kind of smiles and nods and goes, I've just heard rumors from some of the local merchants that you were looking into it, and my young friend here happened to be one of their... one of that god's clerics, and I thought I'd introduce the two of you. Do forgive her a blindfold. She suffered a terrible accident and is blinded.
Can I? What is the check? What is the check for this?
Sense motive?
It's not the same as in 5th edition. Yeah, sense motive on preferably both of them, but mainly the little guy, because I think I know what the chick's deal is.
I will say,
not having insight.
Yeah, just a few. Well, it's not insight. Yeah, do you realize last session when the clinic was blown up that people were talking and saying that it was Magra, the blinded old lady that was close to Kesnanok?
That explosion.
Yeah. Yes, I remember there was talk of a frost giant lady, and there's a frost giant lady right here.
Well, you are in a town of frost
That
giants.
seems
It's also true.
exactly.
Go ahead and give me your sense motive. Let's see what you got.
I'm trying to find the good dice for my sense motive. I do apologize.
It is you, a frost giant woman. There was one who blew up the clinic.
When it's been 3 months since your last D&D session and your party doesn't remember anything.
You know, you fit the description of.
Remember.
Mhm.
I'm just.
Description: frost giant woman. Oh my God, it's you.
What were you saying,
It's
Aldrin?
gotta be.
Oh my god.
Just that, you know, you fit the description of a known suspect we're looking into. Would you happen to know where you were on the night of this day?
On the night of this day?
Yeah?
Sense motive is a +3. I got a 18 total. I don't think I get anything special. Let me double check all my little features I've written down. I don't believe so. No.
I was gonna say negotiator would be the only feat.
18.
Okay. Yeah, as you take a second kind of listening in and looking them up and down, judging by their body language, what are you trying to ascertain?
Basically, mainly, again, my focus is on both, but mainly on the shorter guy whose name I still can't remember how to spell or say, but I recognize.
Jakix?
What he's trying to gain from this. He has a motive. He's bringing up something out of nowhere to Dom. He's got this person who looks like muscle, like backup, like a bodyguard with him. He's clearly cornering him in front of people. Domnander's like, okay, this guy wants something. What does he want? So that's what he's trying to suss out. Well, like, what's the angle here, basically?
It seems that he keeps looking towards you and your party's faces every time he seems to enunciate his words. It's as if he's trying to get a reaction out of you.
Oh, I would say Domnander's face has no reaction to this, other than the slightly quirked eyebrow from earlier. He's completely just, like, looking at this guy.
He kind of turns and shrugs and goes, "You know, you're right. It's probably nothing of your interest when your own mother's part of a cult. Another round of drinks over here," as he kind of calls over the girl working the bar. The two seem to kind of enjoy themselves as they seem to kind of every once in a while kind of look over towards you lot, but seem to otherwise leave you lot alone as Ned Grassentrees kind of keeps quiet, hanging out.
As he walks away, Domnander will say under his breath to the party, like once he's deathly far away, I think that water elemental scrambled him a bit, and just take a sip from whatever drink he's having.
Okay. As you watch, they finish up their drinks as the awkward silence kind of continues, and the two of them turn and leave out of the guild.
Okay.
I know. I will take out my notes and place them on the table for the party to look them over. This is some information I managed to get from that party that we were working with the other day. This is just a bunch of things that are going on in the world, things that we may want to keep in mind if we do go traveling.
Hang on, I need to...
I'll read out what he writes. As he kind of slides over a note, you see scribbles in, Aldrin, what would you be writing this in?
Hopefully everyone can read Giant.
Okay. I would assume so. Your party's all giants.
I hope so too.
It reads, happenings in the world, Movasi, festival in the Dragon City, world leader movement. Don't go out at night in the capital of the Dragon City. Dracs are to be wary of, though they are stupid. Be careful near the cliffside. A large Drac lives there. The guy was whipping up herds of Dracs. In Dragon's Crown, the city, blacksmiths of Dragon. Man, I'm not gonna go through. Man, your notes are rough on me.
Blacksmith of Dragon Crown runs a gang and like straightforward people. There's an inn in the lower district. I wasn't able to catch the name. Tavasi likes tall, bloody people. Do not know why. Hugo is a monk. We will most likely meet this person. He will kick our ass, so please be respectful. There was a bronze bucket the other party is looking for. If we find it, and retrieve it, they are willing to pay us 200 gold pieces for it. It's a bronze bucket with their sigil on it. There was a bandit camp that was nearby, but it got wiped out. New bandits might move in. That area where the Dracs are is a Drac laying ground. While their eggs are worth a lot, it is not probably the best to go in dealing with them, as they also described having some trouble dealing with the Dracs after stealing the eggs. A famous chef from Tavasi moves to Mavasi. I cannot say that name even to this day after writing it down and hearing it multiple times. DM, can you help me with
Greg's
Thank you.
First try.
Was seen flying. Thank you. Was seen flying towards the city or to the capital. Most of the dragon leaders were meeting at the capital. So the dragon lords were having a meeting at their capital. Not sure why, but I do know later on. I will reveal an assassination attempt was attempted there. Confirmation of how many died was unsure. Chrysomix. Is that correct, DM?
Cisormix.
Cisormix. Attacked a raiding party that was on the storm, or a raiding party on the Storm Giants. So if we ever meet this person, we need to show respect. Obviously.
Seems like we have to show respect to everybody.
That's
Yes. Yeah, but not a lot of people deserve it. This is just their words. We need to show these specific individuals respect. 2 Woodwalker kids were killed. As for how they died, I was not told. Barterus, also known as Pain in My Ass, killed a gloom on his own.
You have no idea who this Bargis fellow is.
We do not know who this guy is. All we do know is that probably, if we ever meet him, not to fuck with him. Some kind of undead is trying to kill. I did not get I wasn't able to get his name in time. Camera's dragon leader.
Yaki Roxer.
Yaki Roxer. Some undead are trying to kill Yaki Roxer. How do I say that?
I don't know. You're the one who wrote these notes, man. You should be able to speak your own notes.
Yeah, but this name came from your world. Azurite.
Yeah, fucking.
Azoriet? Like Azor Ayet?
Maybe you should go ask the other party and figure out how it's pronounced. Maybe they remember.
Azuriet, I'm just gonna go with that. Lost an arm to a Drac, so most likely was with them. I was able to get out of them that they did have a Drac for a short amount of time, so they are stupid enough to be tamed. Though we should probably not put all our merit into it. The City of Gold walks continuously. Direction seems to be unknown, as it seems to move towards magic and/or things that shine. We're not sure which one it likes more, so we should just do our best to avoid it at all costs. A separate assassination attempt was allegedly happened again at the Dragon Lord's party. The Snow Dwarves, Treasure Horn, that is a guild, may be of use to us if we drop the name James, which is their third party member who we did
not meet.
We didn't meet, but was on vacation.
You did just see him leave. Yeah.
Yeah, it was that guy. And avoid Greg's Maratom's jungle.
Oh my god.
The natives will hunt you down.
So he kind of reads off these notes. As he kind of like flips through them. Dom kind of stands up in the middle, about halfway through this, and just starts walking out of the inn.
Rude, but fun.
Yeah. No, I'll stay there listening to him because I don't want him to feel bad. But I've clocked out like halfway through. It's kind of like that time, you know, like in like middle school or high school when a teacher calls on to someone to read, and you're like, oh. Not that guy.
Damn, he did all this work to get this information for you guys too.
Wow, okay, thanks. So now I have no qualms with what I'm going to do to pay back my debt. Thanks.
If anyone was paying attention, Dom was looking outside before and was distracted before you even started reading your notes, and then at some point got up and just started to walk towards the door. There was at no point he tuned in and ignored you. He was distracted from the start.
I mean, hey, listen, canonically, Kez was like, alright, that's a Zuriat. Alright, continue. That's Greg's Maritime. Yep, you got it. Keep going.
Hey, Ned was listening with enthusiasm.
Ned was probably petting his owl
sure.
or something.
That's your spirit.
But as you see Dom kind of walking out, Dom, as you get to the door, almost as soon as you do, that figure seems to disappear, and not as you get to the front porch of the guild, coming out on the end, you see Bolov coming down angrily as guards go running off down a side alley, right outside the side of the building. Bolov seems to be coming towards you with anger in his eyes.
Alright, so I already know what's happening here. Bolov is the owner of the guild, right?
Mm-hmm, correct.
So I know for a fact he's not a man of words, not particularly, but Dom also has sort of had experience in the past dealing with him, and is going to hope that maybe knowing him might give him merit. So he's going to, like, I don't know action-wise how I'm going to do that, if the dodge action's still a thing. Dom's preparing to dodge any hit that's thrown his way, but he's going to speak as Bolov gets within speaking distance and go, I don't know what I allegedly did, but someone has impersonated me and has used my visage to anger you. I would hope you would know me better than to fall for such a pathetic attempt to sow deceit and anger amongst our people, and is just preparing to, again, duck, dodge, roll,
Yeah.
shit if he throws a punch at his face.
As you say this, kind of standing on the front porch, you see up at the on the third story the where the smithy was. There seems to be smoke coming from outside of there, and you see up on the top James and Rolleman. Rolleman you recognize, James who you recognize as from the morning just a few moments ago when he was there, standing over, looking down towards you lot in disbelief. Essa looks to be nowhere to be seen as you see the guards kind of coming back out from the alleyway. Essa seems to be still still nowhere to be seen as Bolov gets right up into your face with his big beer belly right up onto you. Give me a spot check real quick.
Okay, you got it. Let me choose my best dice for a spot check. You look like a spot dice. All right.
I do have a dice with an I in it.
That
Maybe I'll
was a
use those for
good
spot
roll.
check.
Okay, what's my spot bonus? If I recall, it's pretty high. Oh my god. I think that's like 24?
Yeah, as you notice his ball starts to kind of move you by, like, getting his body right up in front of you and into you. The man seems to, like, start shoving you towards the back into the guild, without any concern. Just starts pushing you with his hands, calling you names, something about being a cutthroat, killing the weak, and starts pushing you. As he's saying this and kind of giving you a shove back each time, you notice on the side of his hip there is a new tattoo that you recognize as a gravestone that has been brandished with a couple of coins on it, as he starts kind of shoving you back towards the inn. Are you going to resist him, or are you gonna...
I mean, Dom is currently letting himself be pushed because, again,
Okay.
he's kind of more on the defensive, like he's moving, I want to say he's almost moving with the pushes, so he's letting Bolov touch him, but is moving to the point where if he goes to, like, shove him over, he'll be pulling back before that can happen. Like almost
Okay.
like making it seem like he's being pushed, but he's kind of walking. But
Yeah,
upon
stepping
seeing
into
the
it.
tattoo,
Mm-hmm.
can I get the sense from angle, from logistics, from anything, just given, you know, Dom's interest, research, some of that stuff, if this, in like his history, you would know, if this looks like a tattoo that was applied by Bulov or perhaps forcefully branded onto him. Like, I imagine there's a difference between I sat still and this is a tattoo I got willingly and someone forced this on me while I was thrashing and resisting.
From your spot check, you can tell it was with the way it's been made, and given what you know about how tattooing works in this age, the man would not be able to have thrashed and gotten the clean lines that you can see on it. It's very well done. You can give me a sense motive to see if he seems to be have an ulterior motive that has to do with this.
Can we also see the
you do start to see as basically after a few pushes, Dom is back in the building, and you see Bolov is right in Dom's face, calling him all sorts of horrible names and insulting him.
Is there a roll that we can do to see what the symbolism, if like the gravestone is a common type of tattoo, like if there's any?
Where is?
That would be just a general knowledge history check at that point. As far as goes, however, if you're looking to see if you want, it'd be easier. I will put it to you this way: it would be easier for your character to know if this was something like was religiously invested, or if this was rather than figuring out if this is common, because you wouldn't know. There's not enough of you know about these lands to know from the culture if something like this would be a common thing. You have not seen it on anyone else, I will say.
Gotcha, because I was also wondering if Dom would have known what those kind of tattoos are since they've been here for
Dom, yeah, Dom, you go ahead and give me a knowledge history if you want to see, if you want to try and see if this is something that'd be common around these areas.
Yeah, can I still do that sense motive as well? Can I do both rolls?
Yeah.
Okay. Sense motive will be a 15, and then my history, I'm trying to find where that is.
Well, it would be under a knowledge something, but you might not have knowledge history.
Yeah, based on your class, depends on. If you don't, then it's just a knowledge check.
Yeah, I don't think I have.
Because I mean,
knowledge history entered.
So you said I could either roll knowledge history or religion, or it would be better off for me to use religion.
Religion is going to tell you more if you're looking specifically to find out if this is something that members of this cult, from your perspective, this cult would commonly put on them. What's up?
I'm trying to think. I don't know that I have a knowledge skill that technically applies to this role, but obviously I would have a backstory kind of reason to know, so I'm not sure what you want, if you would want me to roll just without any bonuses.
Because I know knowledge is based off of intelligence.
It's just going to be a knowledge it's just an intelligence check. The sense motive, as far as it goes, I set the DC based on prior information with the character, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so yeah, I got that 15 for the sense motive.
Okay.
And I guess just a generalized history check would be a 14.
With the 14 in history, you have not seen any frost giants who normally depict this kind of marking. In fact, you'd know this to be almost insulting to Utham, who does not, especially right now, has political issues recently with the followers of Oat. As rumors have been kind of spreading around that there was kind of a fallout between Regan Utham and the leader of the Kobolds, who was supposedly one of the either worshippers or servants of Oat himself. So the rumors go. So to be brandishing something like this, even if it isn't to Oat, is basically, even with a basic history check on that, would be to be saying that Bolov is cocky enough that he is either insulting Utham on purpose or feels no threat from Utham from doing it. Either way, this would be him basically talking a much bigger game than, as far as by showing this off.
Okay, and then remind me, was Bolov the one of the frost giants that got induced by the rage at some point?
No.
He had to fight, right?
Nope, that was the
other guy.
that was the smithy, the owner and runner of the smithy, Thrid, and Gerso Gold, what was it? Gerso Goldmaker,
Yeah.
who was the half-breed who did die. No, Bolov has been nasty to you since you showed up, basically.
I was gonna say, have I seen Bolof's prowess in battle to know what the strength difference between him and me would be? Like,
yes.
I'm trying to determine would Dom know this bitch's CR.
Bolov is one of the few people who serve amongst Utham's territories that is considered to be capable of handling Utham in sparring practice and actually standing toe-to-toe with him. Now, that's not to say he wins. That's never been... No many people talk about the results of those fights, as Bolov is not the kindest individual when it comes to spreading rumors of him. So, beyond that, yeah, so that from your understanding, Bolov is at least somewhere either at the same level or near level of Regan Utham himself.
Okay, so Dom's not going to do what he would probably prefer to do if this was a lower level NPC, but he's going to, like, as Bolov goes to, like, shove him again, do that sort of, like, quick, nimble, like, dodge to the side, like, just turn himself, basically out of it, and, like, forcing Bolov to kind of turn to look at him, and just is going to go, that mark. Are you betraying our Regan? And I do want you to know the answer to this does matter. And his eyes are, like, immediately, like, before he was kind of very, like, neutral professional, kind of, like, irritated at Bolov's, like, shoving, but clearly was, like, not taking it to heart. Dom looks expressively, like, angry. Like, there's no... It is very clear he is unhappy. And he is gesturing to the tattoo as he speaks.
Before Bolov acts, Keznok, is there anything you'd like to do? You're still sitting at the table with Uldren kind of going over the notes, looking up at this fight, or this kind of starting in the middle of the inn. No one else is here.
I pull out my iPhone 23 and start recording. No, I'm joking.
Man pulls out his crystal ball and starts casting. World Star.
This is Kez Guy 28. I am here today streaming this throwdown going on.
But our great femboy cleric leader of sorts.
I'm not doing anything. There's nothing I really can do at this point. I'm just gonna observe and see what happens.
Okay, Ned's gonna grab his staff, his quarterstaff that he got from the anvil and ready it. What about you, Uldren?
I start getting ready for a fight.
But how? Are you gonna draw your weapons, or what's the plan?
I am.
Okay. All right, as you kind of still sitting, drawing your blades at your hand, getting ready to shove the seat back, you watch as Bolov starts shouting off, "You killed Thrid's third son, and you think you can tell me anything at this point or what to do. I swear, if it wasn't for Utham's kindness of giving you this damn gift, I'd have your head right now." And he gets right into Dom's face, nose touching, and fucking breathe heavily on him. You see, he's got no weapon in his hands, but his fists are clenched.
Oh, I'm cutting out.
No, you're good.
Oh, okay. No weapons, so he's not pulling any weapons. And as far as I'm aware, he's not an unarmed fighter, so this is clearly some amount of it.
He is well muscled, I will note, Dom, and you've never seen him carry a weapon.
Oh no, so he is. So this is okay. So Dom is going to let him get close, but is still very much like moving as he moves, keeping an eye on his muscles. It's almost like he's reading his body language from those checks earlier to kind of anticipate. So that way, like, if Bolov goes to, like, grab his throat, punch him, hit him, knock him over, he is close enough to easily, like, dodge. Like, it's a matter of keeping your opponent close for maneuverability, so
Okay.
just to set the scene there.
Alright.
And Dom, again, with just this face of, like, it's almost like it's not full anger, because there's not full expression, but there is a passion there. There is some level of being upset and some level of just like irritation. It's just like, I have dedicated my life to Regan Utham and to the people in this city, and I have dedicated, and I have almost died for this cause willingly, and you are truly stupid enough to think I would have done it. Someone disguise themselves as me. I would rather cut myself alive than turn against Utham, and you know that to be true. So either you're a traitor or you're just a fool. And Bolaf, I do admire you, so I would like to think it's the latter.
He kind of...
And is still preparing to dodge.
You see, he huffs, and the smell of curdled milk as the rotten teeth that you can see in his mouth kind of smile, and he goes, I've always wanted to hit you, a little half-breed. Bring it on. And he's like, as he puts his fist right up to your chin, not touching you and just getting close enough just to irritate you. As he does this, you see behind him, just slightly out of the corner of your eye, and as Kesnanok kind of eating his popcorn that he's kind of fished out from the side of one of the side barrels, Uldren, weapons ready, watching this. You both, or all three, are able to see the James and Roloman, as well as Essa, coming up towards the door, and Jakik's kind of standing out there, little cane in hand that he twirls as Essa kind of walks up, smacking into something, and then kind of backs up for a step or two. James seems to try to go around something that seems to not, like an invisible wall of sorts, that seems to kind of cover this area. As he does, he seems to again smack into something, and as the group kind of turns to leave, as you two, or as Bolaf is trying to get, trying to get Dom to swing on him, or for Uldren to take a stab at him, as he keeps eyeing Uldren out of the side eye, you watch as James seems to turn, and you see a flutter of light, and then a massive explosion of what you those who are divine, which I think is pretty much everyone but Uldren. All of the rest of you who are divine casters, you suddenly feel a massive amount of divine magic just explode out from around Jakix as he stands at that door, blocking the spell that James seemed to toss off and seems to glare over at them. As he does so, you notice Bolaf kind of stops for a second and turns and stands up, looks over at the rest of the party, and then kind of straightens himself out and goes, Regan Utham has been generous enough to provide you with a cart and a quencha, a winter wolf, as you would call it, to leave. You ain't to come back. Regan's generosity has reached its limit. And I swear, as he looks over again, as he turns back to Dom, take a swing. I dare you. As he spits on the ground right between your legs.
Unlike you, Bolaf, I am not so quick to use my fist in place of words, and I am no fool. I am aware that any amnesty granted is broken if I hit you, which is why I'm not going to hit you. And as he does, he makes a show of almost putting his hands at his side as he's again still prepped to dodge, still not relaxed, but is in a pose that very much suggests he's not throwing a punch or doing any sort of attack. Is Jakik still in the background?
Oh yeah, he's still standing in the doorway, kind of watching this. He's slightly playing with his cane.
Dom jerks his head, because he's not gonna gesture with his hands in a quick movement, because that's bad. Just jerk his chin and go, the killer of whoever was just killed is over there. If you truly care about justice, you will go after him. But given the brand on your side, I think you won't. If Utham wants me out of the city, I would expect him to be able to tell me himself, or send someone a lot more. And he kind of looks Bolaf over pointedly, professional.
Oh, do you, you whelp, as he pulls out something out of a little bag and shoves it into your chest with his finger, with one fat finger, as he, and, step backs up.
Yeah.
You do see it's an official order.
For the first time.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I 100% knew. I think Dom did as well, but it's pressing buttons.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take it and still keeping an eye on him, like open it up.
Yeah, as you read it over, it does read, Dear Dom, unfortunately, due to the recent events in the city, and due to the continued situations, I have made a request that most adventurers leave these territories until the near future. Due to the recent attacks, the people have grown to distrust foreigners, and I think it is your time to do as we talked about. I wish you luck, accept this gift, and understand that my messenger should keep Bolov away from you in the meantime while I go to deal with him. And you see Bolov's got some, like, meaty smile as he's looking at you, like, with a I told you so grin on his face.
No, Donna is reading it, and there's, like, a bit of, like, a twitch in his mouth that's, like, just like, not upset about the letter or the circumstance, but just the way in which it happened. And he's, like, gonna glare at Jakix, who's just standing in the side lines, and goes to lean forward to Bolov. Like, not getting in his face as hostile as he was, but just to lean in, kind of lower his tone. Because I imagine they were speaking quite loud and vocal, because it was a fight. And goes, Bolov, I was not lying when I said I respect you. If you aren't a traitor or a fool or under some sort of spell, be warned. You and Utham and the others are in danger. The cult of OT and some freak we rescued are here, and more deaths will happen. And if you are not a spineless, quivering coward and you care about this city, you will do something in my absence. And he will turn to walk inside and present the letter to the group.
Yeah, I'll go ahead and make sure, as he turns and says, I'll make sure and tell Regan Utham your mother's a traitor and you should be treated as the same, as he starts bellowing out laughing as he walks out of the guild. As you see he does so, Jakix kind of seems to start scolding him as although you don't hear anything, you do see him speaking to the gentleman. As Jakix kind of seems to yell at him over something, you see as Jakix suddenly kind of storms off and walks away. Bolov kind of disappears, heading down one of the streets, leaving you lot back at the inn.
Alright, Dom, knowing that the group was watching him, just walks in, and just sort of, like, plops it, like, full drops it, and so I imagine it, like, slides a few inches on the table for the party to look at. Time to pack our bags.
Well, it was fun while it lasted.
Was it?
Do not know what is happening, but I trust Utham has a plan, so I'm going to not attempt to murder that stupid man. And we'll, like, pick up the letter back up and pocket it, because it's an official letter and it is important.
Well, everything I own is currently on me at this moment. I'm ready, I suppose. Where's this cart and wolf?
As you seem to mention that, as you look out, you do see as a giant seems to kind of come rolling up with a cart, as well as a large winter wolf, a Quincha that seems to be kind of pulling it, fully strapped to the thing and ready to go. The wagon is designed to fit giants and carry for giants, so it's definitely a decent size. As you look it over, you between the lot of you, you think you could easily squeeze into this thing.
How do you spell the monster's name?
Yes, not a problem. I did also post a link to its stat sheet for those who want to see it. There you go, is the name.
Nice.
They are slightly known to be slightly larger, and so they're very bright white furred. They're a bit larger for their wintry size, so they are known for their higher AC due to their naturally dense fur that they keeps them warm at night. The wagon itself looks to seem to be very well designed. It looks to actually have been crafted by either Utham or one of his direct apprentices themselves, as you see some of the bones that were used from creatures kind of depicted into it.
I think Domnander will... I assume he's lived here long enough to have seen or been around one. So as he approaches the cart, we'll kind of just take a moment to, like, pat the creature's side and probably, like, utter something under his breath, like, towards it, and then we'll just, like, hop into the cart.
Mm-hmm. The creature seems to, as you kind of go near, and it seems to respond, and almost as if it understands you, it nods along, kind of wags its tail as you get on. Ned seems to climb on pretty quickly, sitting in the back of the thing to watch the area and look out the windows of the wagon. Kesnanok and Uldren, are you?
Is it a wagon or a carriage?
Well, technically it is listed as a carriage, because this thing is fully a pretty good size, so...
Because I know you said windows, so I was wondering if it was open or enclosed.
It is not technically enclosed, but I mean, when I'm saying window, I'm talking like the flaps at the back. Like the canvas cover. Yeah, you know, like the Pioneer wagons, you know, the flaps at the back.
Okay, it's one of those.
Yeah. I was gonna say. Mm-hmm. You think the man would spend that much on you? Come on now.
Yeah, right. I guess I'm really wondering of where are we going before we start, getting on the carriage. And should we head up to, what was it, Western Winds or whatever it was to get some supplies for the journey? We don't really have rations.
Yeah.
As the servant who kind of gets off the wagon that drove it kind of stops hearing this, he goes, "You could always stop down in the town down below in Knighton. You can buy supplies a lot cheaper down there as they're more abundant. I hear there's a ship coming into town as well that's heading towards the Diamond's Court if you're interested."
Can I sense motive this servant or look for any signs of the mark on him?
I will give you this. He's wearing clothing. You can give me a search check, but where the bits that aren't covered by his clothing, like his sleeves being rolled up and stuff, he does not have marking.
The man.
Oh, okay. Well, that's gonna be a
no, not sexual assault. No.
That's a strength check after you just.
I'm doing a sense motive.
Okay.
My sheet's taking a hot second to load, but I think. Sheet.
Here, I can pull up your sheet.
Okay. Sense motive will be another 18.
An 18. What are you trying to sense on this guy?
So basically, he's showed up on the cart. He's clearly involved in some of the whatever's happening because he's here to bring us our cart. So, and he's conveniently mentioning, there's this town you can go to for supplies, and there's a ship. So Dom is basically trying to determine if this man is setting them up for a trap, or if it seems like he was paid or forced or threatened to share this information.
Well, Dom, is there a city at the base of the mountain?
There is. But it's not on the. It wasn't on the map when you guys got here, so it's a recent town that's being set up right now. So yeah, to your guys' knowledge, this would be news to you. Dom would have heard something about a supposed town being set up, but no actual information beyond that. As you sense him though, what you realize is the servant, who at first is very simply dressed, like commonly dressed. It takes you a second, and you recognize the gentleman as he's not. Something doesn't sit with you as you realize this man's not a full frost giant. He's a half giant. He's also not a frost giant at all. He's a hill giant, as you recognize Ulf, the previous apprentice, now master craftsman that served directly under Utham and serves as his head of his blackguard.
So this is probably a person
you have already met that you are very well acquainted with. That was decent to you in last session.
Exactly. Yeah, I remember this guy. So
he's also the guy who made. Yeah, he's also the guy who made Kesnanok's Warhammer that he's now carrying around. The
I give him a thumbs up.
Yeah.
So Dome kind of doesn't double take, seeing him clearly in what I can guess is like a disguise.
Very terrible disguise, as it's pretty easy to recognize the only hill giant here.
It's not a physical reaction like someone noticing, but like Dome's eyes go to it, drift away, snap back, and he just looks to make sure like him and Ulf make eye contact, and then like looks at the party, nods at the party, but it's meant for like Ulf, and just goes, "I trust this man's word. We'll head there."
He kind of waves at Kesnan. Kesnan gives a thumbs up. As Ulf fully realizes he's been found out and realizes the disguise was a very dumb idea. He just kind of turns and walks away down the road as you hear like a couple of passerbys go, "Hey, Ulf!" and he just like shakes his head and his face in his hand.
I love that it took an 18 sense motive from Dom to figure that out. Known better.
But as you, Kez and Uldren, are you getting aboard, or are you have something else you think you're doing?
I'll get aboard.
Okay.
How long is it? Like a day's journey from where we are to the bottom, or like what's the?
You have no idea.
Well, we all have like what, one ration, right? And that's like a day's amount of food.
Yep. That's one day without eating 3 meals.
Hey Dom, how long does it take to get from here to the bottom of the mountain?
5 days worth of rations, actually.
That's crazy.
I have so much food.
Dom's just built different.
Dom is just built different.
Listen, he is canonically low in strength because he was out in the wilderness starving for a while, so of course he's going to keep food on him now. He's learned his lesson.
No, Dom, question. How long does it take to get from this town to the bottom of the mountain? Have you ever made that journey before?
I would know that, so...
Well, you did make that journey last session, or like a session ago. It only took you guys about a few hours to get to the bottom of the mountain.
Yeah, but weren't we on the back of a very giant boar?
Yeah, that's also a good point, Dom. You don't remember there being anything other than a really crappy, very worn staircase that kind of winds going down that doesn't really fit a wagon.
You know what? I climb out.
I'm just gonna look at the wolf, look at it really hard, kind of like squint at it. Is there anything familiar about the way in which this wolf stares back?
It just kind of tilts its head at you. Go ahead and, I mean, you can try and sense motive if you're trying to... Yeah.
Dom is having a staring contest with the wolf as the party's like, "Hey, Dom, how long does it take to get to the mountain?" Dom?
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 Dom! Dom! Dom!
I just imagine Dom going to the front of the cart, looking at the wolf, trying to convince it to talk to him. Oh, man.
Okay, I got wait, what's my sense? I've just been using it.
You've used a lot, plus 2? Plus 3?
This'll be a 22.
22? You don't recognize this wolf in the slightest. You've never seen it before. But as you're kind of staring at it, and Kesnok's kind of, like, I imagine staying on the side of the wagon, like, looking at the hole, the giant hole that you guys had gone out earlier, and, like, looking back at you with, I imagine Uldren kind of doing similarly. Ned kind of pops his head up and goes, he says, it should only take about a day to get to the town, and something along the lines of, to avoid the big one called Beardy. What, do you guys not speak? Do you not speak wolf?
No.
Oh. He kind of pops his head back into the wagon, going back to fiddling with some stuff, some nuts and berries.
So it's not what I was thinking out of character, which I'm a little disappointed.
I know
thought it was the
exactly what
boring
you were
disguise.
thinking. Yes, exactly what I thought that you were thinking.
Like, it was like, it gave me a nod, it seemed very familiar, and then it was like, what? There's no way for the cart to get down there, and my mind flashed to when she jumped and we flew in the air, and I just was like, slow turn to my laptop in real life, like,
Ned...
sense mode of this world.
Mm-hmm.
Am I at one day?
Yes.
Now?
Yeah, this is your
We're at
one day. Mm-hmm.
Gotcha. The time approaches.
Oh, so we're gonna be out of town alone, and yeah, something bad's happening here, something bad's happening to us when we're away.
Where's the taxi
Anyway.
system?
Alright, hey Ned, does the wolf know a good way down the mountain?
Ned kind of pops his head back out and goes, falling!
Huh. Safely.
Make all his creatures fly.
You see Ned kind of pops his head back out and goes, didn't those merchant fellas say something about airships?
Yeah, that's what I figured they were gonna have to do. I didn't want to have to buy them to rent out an part. Whatever, I can't speak today. Alright, to the airship docks.
Alright. As you start to head that way, you see as kind of getting on the wagon, I assume Uldren and Kesnuk are kind of walking on the sides of it with Dom kind of like mushing the dog on the wagon itself. Okay.
Yeah, with Ned, probably.
I'm no longer cleaning. That's the phrase we want to hear. Yeah, as you kind of head towards that direction, you see the as you get towards the end of the road, you see the very large fire that's kind of burping out of where the harbor entrance is. And as you kind of get closer, you see the very large fire, destroyed ships, yelling, screaming. Somebody saying something about like a guy named Pierre destroying all the airships and blowing them up. This is canon, actually. This isn't something the DM making up for bullshit. Mike actually did this. Mike fucked a really bad roll and destroyed all the airships in this in the harbor. As you look, there is destruction. People screaming. There are pirates and merchants alike that are trying to like rush to pull their airships up that are falling and failing. There's a dwarf walking around yelling and giving commands about like where to pour water and what ships need to be focused. As you look, the sinking feeling of realization that you're not going to be finding an airship in there comes to head, looking in.
Oh boy. Someone's not even gonna like bother to get out of the cart. He's like so over it. He's just kind of like waiting for someone else in the party to react to this. He's just got like a completely stone dead, cold, no expression, no emotion, like just looking at this mess.
How do we even how can we react to this? I'm gonna be real. never met Pierre as this character.
Nope.
And you're telling me he just blew up the fucking harbor.
Oh, he didn't just... So from the what you hear, it sounds like most of the sailors talk about this guy as if he just showed up to the side of it and blew the hell out of the harbor and just basically just smacked them in the face and drove off. Like, that's how the sailors are kind of describing
so
as...
now that we know that Pierre is an enemy, to make sure... Yeah, alright, cool.
But as you kind of looking at this, I also imagine, because Kesnuk, the pier is also right next to, on the side, like the piece of the mountain itself on that side, off to the right of the gate is where Kesnuk kind of landed when he got slammed after an explosion. So I imagine seeing that in this, I feel that, the expression.
1,000-yard stare. Da, 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 da.
Like, can we just leave?
There's gotta be a way out of here.
Ned kind of sticks his head back out and goes, "Yeah, it'd be really weird if Regan Utham only gave us would only give us a way out of here that would get us killed. I feel like that'd be kind of pointless. Just kind of putting that out there. Maybe the wolf can make it down the stairs." And a light bulb went off in 3 characters' heads at the same time.
No.
Yeah, well, it's not that the wolf can, it's the carriage.
Mm-hmm.
saying.
Think about that, though.
But Dononder's just still not reactive person. Like he's
staring at the fire and everything.
I'm gonna just go buy rations. With what gold? I don't know.
You know what? Where we're going, we don't need food, right? Everyone.
Wolf kind of starts to turn around and heads back towards the hole. As you start heading that direction, heading up towards it, a moment as you get to the entrance, looking at and start to kind of stare down at the just drop straight down, as well as the rickety the smooth staircase and the very tight turns as you look at it, and the sigh as you see this, as you turn back for a moment and see Regan Utham grabbing Bolov and shoving him into the inn as the two seem to be in a spat. You aren't sure what happens as you stand here. Do any of you go to investigate, or are you just going to kind of watch from where you're at?
Not our business, Dom.
I'd say Dom's not going to rush in, but if he sees Utham seemingly about to beat up Bolov or vice versa, he's gonna want to get closer, even if he's gonna keep like a distance, like a deniable distance that if he was caught and he wasn't supposed to be, he could be like.
So you see as Dom kind of just looks at the rest of you guys and kind of like starts to tilt the wolf to park for a moment, and gets out to stretch. Starts kind of looking over towards the inn as they're doing their kind of excuses going out. You gotta stretch before you get into the situation, all that.
Once again, I give Dom this look.
I am trying to overhear. Like, I actually am trying to get information from this, by the way. So I don't know if there's like a listen.
If you there is, go ahead and give me a listen check. I will note that all those who are kind of paying attention to this and not just staring at Dom like really, it's the deadpan look of Kesnanok at this point. Those who aren't, you do see for a moment a splotch of black that seems to disappear for a second towards the inn on one of the sides.
Uh-oh.
But go ahead, Dom. Let's see what you get for a listen.
That's a nat 20. That's only a 15 total.
You catch only a couple words from this distance. You hear something about traitor. I can't kill you now because it'd make a scene. But you mark my words, you're dead. And then that's like the rest of it. You don't really catch anything from what how Bolov responds at all, it seems. But as you kind of listen and you see as Bolov kind of comes marching out in a huff angrily, looks kind of to either side and like comes walking towards you lot. As he kind of walks past you, he just glares at you. Good.
Because he's still keeping the distance, like Bolov to approach us would have to go out of his way.
Mm-hmm.
Sitting there at the front, I imagine Ned's the one driving, but I'm like beside him directing as like the local guide, quote unquote. As Bolov looks over to make eye contact, Dononder just slightly squints his eyes, and for the first time, I think within the past 2 days, or at least the 24 hours, just gives like the slightest but most smug smirk. And then basically pretends Bolov doesn't exist and gestures for Ned to continue. He's got the confirmation he needed that Utham is handling shit, basically.
Kesnanok, meanwhile, still staring at Dom. Is Uldren just sitting in the back? What's Uldren doing during this?
Yeah, he's hanging out.
Uldren is taking notice of the dispute and keeping an eye on them.
Okay. As you kind of watch this, you see as Bolov kind of walks past you, as he sees the smug grin on Dom's face, he just glares at him, and then kind of puts his thumb to his throat and slides it across as he walks over to the edge and just jumps off without a care. As he does, he disappears, and Uldren, as you're kind of looking over in the direction, you do see, just out of the just for a moment, as the light seems to glimpse Utham sitting at one of the tables by the window with his hand, his fucking hand basically to his forehead, just like staring out into the street as you guys or the wagon starts to move.
So I was definitely worried beforehand, but now that man's jumped off the mountain, now I'm even more worried. Especially after the death threat to Dom. I feel like we're gonna see that man again in the probably not so far future.
Oh yeah.
I give it 5 minutes to talk.
I'm gonna blame you if he comes and attacks us.
Well, he's gonna come and attack me. Let's be clear. And to be fair, when are we not attacked by people we somehow upset? That's just the party way. I'm just making sure it's someone we vaguely might be able to guess the abilities of, and not a random person. You know?
Ned kind of turns back to you.
The reoccurring villain, guys.
As you
secure the reoccurring villain early.
Ned kind of turns back to you as this and goes, "Hey guys, check this out!" And he kind of like smacks the leathers or the stirrups for the wolf to start running straight at the cliff. He's not turning in the slightest. Ned goes, "Hold on tight," and as the thing goes forward, it starts to go off the edge, and as it starts to drop, or as it goes over, the back wheels falling off, you feel it drop like 20 feet almost immediately until as you guys are starting to panic. Dom, is there anything you'd like to do?
Hold on tight, as I was instructed.
All right. Kez?
Ned, I hate you.
Ned smiles. He's shouting woohoo. Alright. Kesnanok staring at him shouting this, the Emperor's New Groove moment here. Going over the waterfall situation. Deadpan look. Aldrin.
I hold on to the card itself and brace for impact, regretting my life choices.
Sharp rock at the bottom? Bring it on.
As you see the rocks down at the bottom and the dead bodies as you look over the edge, the concern, the lack of concern starts to set in. But as you hit about 30 feet down, you suddenly feel the wagon come to a slow stop and starts to float lightly down to the ground. And Ned goes, I wasn't sure that'd work.
Wasn't?
Well, I saw these runes on the side of the wagon that were carved in. I just thought if I put some magic in them, it would just do something. I didn't know what it'd do, but good news, it's a feather falling effect.
Why
and what if it wasn't?
Me? I could read the magic.
Well, if it wasn't, we wouldn't have to worry now, would we?
I'm gonna mimic exactly what Uther looked like when he was sitting there, like hand on the forehead, looking out in the back, like not even intentionally. It's just that's how much of a headache that.
What is the world causing me?
Someone is doing like a more reserved version of that, where he's trying not to look as irritated and exhausted, but it's clearly also the same.
So we're going to the butchery, right, guys? And as he says this, looking out towards the front, you see a large, in the distance, probably a few miles off in the distance, you can see the town. It's actually less than half a day's journey from what you gather, or at least that's what you think based on how fast the wagon starts to move as it hits the ground. This this wolf starts taking off at top speeds. As you do, yes.
Ned, wait, hold on. What do you think a butchery is?
He says butchery.
Oh, butchery. What the fuck's a butchery?
And he goes, like a place where you eat plants and stuff like that, and take care of plants. Not like those butchery places. That place is for demons.
I've never heard of a butchery.
Are
you talking about a farm? A greenhouse?
It kind of just goes into 1,000-yard stare and stares off as you kind of make this comment with the flaps open. You see in the distance a loud, well, not really looking off into 1,000-yard stare. It's like turns and grabs his attention towards this large crash of a explosion sound as a wooden ship in the distance seems to land in the ground hard, slamming into it, over towards the city that you see in the distance.
I say we head over there in case there's souls that need to be saved.
Ned just kind of nods as he kind of clicks the stirrups.
Aldrin, you're gonna be my siren. I need you to make a bunch of wee-woo sounds.
You motherfucker, I was drinking water. Fuck.
I slowly, very slowly, the deadest face possible, make eye contact with you. Wee woo, wee woo.
All right, let's go. The ambulance is on the way.
Dominator is just, I guess, in the front. He's just there.
Yeah, as you lot start taking off, it's a few hours before you finally reach town. And by a few hours, I actually mean a few days, because as I'm looking at my map here, it takes about a week's worth of traveling. As
I thought you said the town's at the bottom of the mountain.
As it looked like, yeah, a lot farther than you thought. As far as it goes, you can roll survival to forage.
Where was the crashed ship?
You guys are...
It is far. It is. You can still see it. There's no mountains or trees in the entire this entire area.
Ned?
This is a snowy, dead area, mostly like flatland around here. So it's pretty easy. Yeah, go ahead. Let me look. Does Ned have Goodberry? Let's find.
If he does, that solves at least a couple of our problems.
Let's find out. Let me figure out which one Ned is. Or pull
He'd
it up.
probably be like, "Hey guys, look at this. This is from the butchery."
Comes full circle now.
Good God.
Give me a second. It's taking a minute to load. All right, there we go. Sheet. Let's see what spells you got.
The butchery is the natural world. It is not actually a place, but a state of mind.
Exactly.
Would this travel?
He does not.
Downtime or no? Because
Yes, this will be downtime. He does not, but you can. So there is specifically survival checks to forage while you guys are traveling and making camp throughout the week. And you can roll to feed yourselves.
Yeah.
It does not take a very high roll to survive in the wild, surprisingly.
As Dom would know from experience.
Yeah. So I was gonna say it's a very low DC, surprisingly. So yeah, as you guys go ahead and roll a survival check, or whoever wants to roll it for whoever be doing the foraging.
Do we roll for each day or just for the?
Just once. I'm just doing it once for the week. Yep.
Okay.
I wouldn't mind doing it because I have a high wisdom. Unless you have a very high survival.
Survival. My survival's decent. I was gonna say I could roll for myself, unless we're doing a party roll.
Because
because I'm a native to the area, could I give Kez like a health action, like advantage?
Yeah. I'm fine with it.
Okay, I'll do that. Assuming your survival's bigger than a +3.
it is.
It should be.
Okay, then I will.
Because I have a 20 in wisdom. Oh,
yeah, mine's only a +3 survival. I don't have any points in it yet.
Okay, so that would be a 24.
Damn.
Damn.
I rolled a 19.
Yes, that's actually pretty good.
Hey,
Yeah.
out of the ground.
You. As you see the trees around the area, not trees around the area, the mini fruits that grow on the ground, the roots that grow on the ground, it doesn't take you long to figure out how to scavenge and pull some of the roots. Noticing a couple of the rabbit burrows that seem to be in the area, you manage to get down into a couple of the holes and catch lunch a few days. Managing to keep your group healthy, you each manage to keep about 2 rations in you per day. Keep managing to bonus out an extra 5 rations.
Ooh, each?
Yep.
Or just like, oh, frickin' hell yeah.
With that, as you take great care. Yeah, correct.
Oh,
5 rations each.
Okay,
Holy
let me write
shit.
that down.
Yep, as I imagine Keznok having realized what was going on with the food situation, would be looking to kind of hunt a little in excess to make sure you had some extra just in case. Now, that being said, it does take you the full week rather than the taking only about 5 days roughly. So it does take you a full 7 days to get there. But as you travel through, during your travel, you hear a large explosion in the distance going off as you see a bunch of people rushing off. You notice, for some reason, everything okay, Dom? Hello?
I'm cutting out. Everything's catching up now. I think I'm good.
Okay, making sure. Alright,
Sorry,
yeah.
got the rations.
Yes. So as you guys start heading on your weekly journey, also give me a search check. Whoever's going to be on guard or on watch duty the most.
I think my search is high. I would definitely want to be on guard.
Let's
I don't know
see.
if that would
Let's
be more
compare.
of a listen check.
What's yours?
Oh, sure, yours.
Mine's probably not gonna be as high as yours. Just knowing your build.
I say with
Mine's
listen.
+5.
I say listen is a wisdom check, so I know Dom has a decent wisdom.
Listen or search?
Though that was for because they wanted to
Do
listen.
wisdom?
If you want to do a listen,
Can I still listen, in the background, passively?
Yeah, I'll tell you what. Well, let's have Uldren give me a search check, and then let's have Dom do the listen check. Then we'll split it.
17.
We are Uldren's
17.
eyes and ears.
There you go.
Yeah, I was about to. I mean, I have like a +7 to listen.
Yeah, you know, Keznok's busy though, getting hunting.
Yeah.
Nat 20. All right, so between the two of you, you notice on the third day that you're being followed by someone that is seemingly not they're leaving footprints in the snow. As you look back, there aren't any trees around here. The ground is flat. You can see for miles all around you. Someone though, you notice there are footprints that seem to keep popping up in your camp that you don't seem to notice who's putting them there or where they're coming from. As you do look at them, I will mention Uldren. You do recognize these shoes, given your background. You recognize these similarly to be merchant or nobleman's shoes as you take a look at the patterns in the snow.
I was about to make a joke sorry guys, I was sleepwalking.
Keznok over here putting on his fancy shoes for bed.
Yeah, my fancy slippers.
He puts shoes on his hands and his
Dom,
feet, so he has 2 pairs when he
you
crawls around.
every night you hear someone talking and whispering something, but as you and Uldren go to look around, you never seem to find the person or the creature or the cause of these sounds. As the third night goes on, this seems to on the fourth day or on. Go ahead. Yes, Dom?
Sorry, no, continue.
No, go ahead. I was gonna go on to the next day. If you had something you wanted to do.
Yeah. I was going to ask if the footprints we find seem to specifically linger near I don't know if we have tents, so I'm assuming bedrolls.
Just bedrolls, yeah.
Bedroll,
Well, you'd also be laying in the wagon bed.
I was wondering if there was a specific person it seems to be following, or if it's just generally searching the camp, doing if there's a pattern to it. Is it specifically walking near Kez or walking near Uldren or walking near me? Is it just looping around the cart?
Yeah, as you look, you and Uldren notice that these footprints only seem to appear near your camp after Keznok returns with food or right before he returns with food. And always there seems to be one ration missing as you start to look about. You notice the footprints seem to always go near the fire and then dissipate, but for some reason, anytime you guys are in the area and looking at the fire, it never appears. Mm-hmm.
Can one night, I will remove from my sheet, but can one of these nights, done under, when it's getting dark, when everyone's getting settled to bed, leave out an intentional ration by the fire, leave out some extra food near the fire, and just speak out and say, "This is for you, whoever you are. If you agree to aid us or leave us be, there will be more of this for you. You can be a friend. We can help each other. And kind of then like go off to bed, like leave it unattended. Can I do that?
Yeah, of course. As you leave it out,
all right.
The third night goes on, and
may I ask a question real quick?
Oh yeah, go ahead.
Multiple days have passed.
The whole 3 days thing has kind of come to pass. And nothing happened.
Well, yeah, nothing. Well, you heard the big explosion on night one. That's what I did mention. The massive explosion coming from the in the same direction you guys are going.
Okay, that was it. Okay, that was probably it then.
Yeah, that's as you didn't see it, but you could feel the ground rumbling and hear it. Given your since you're what's your domain? Out of curiosity, what domains are you?
Death and healing.
Oh, okay. So then, yeah, you would not feel what caused it or anything of that sort. But as you would have felt that explosion on day one, day two day two would go pretty much unbothered, and as day three, as you do this, Dom, on that night, Uldren, did you want to do anything that night just before I move on?
I don't have the materials to make a trap.
That's true.
I just offered a peace treaty.
That's true.
Very clearly different ideas between the two of us.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess I won't do anything this night.
Idea, but we don't have...
Y'all, you're out here believing in cryptids and stuff. I just think you're miscounting rations. I think you're crazy.
All right. So, Uldren, there's nothing you're doing?
Yeah, there's nothing I can do at the moment. If this thing proves hostile, then it's a different story.
Okay. As the night goes on, you hear some screams and shouts as you kind of all startle awake and look out. For a moment, you see a bolt of black light, or some black figure that seems to kind of shoot towards Regan Utham's city from Purser's Last Hold. And moments later, you see as a massive not necessarily magical, but massive amount of light seems to gleam from the city of Night, and the city you're going towards, almost like an Aurora Borealis that's been put on the ground, starts to glow about as you see something go off as the entire sky is lit up with magic. You see arcane runes that seem to kind of be drawn up into the sky. Before any of you ask, unless any of you are Toth or have Toth in your backstory, you do not know the language of these runes.
And so that even goes with, read magic?
If you have read magic, you can use it. I just meant for those who are magically gifted already. If you want to use read magic, you are welcome to.
So how does, I can't, because there's rolls you have to make with read magic, right?
Correct. Let me pull it up. It's been a minute. Oh no, my rules lawyer has come online. He's available now.
Yeah, no, there he is.
It's spellcraft.
Yes. With the DC, so the DC is based on 10 plus the spell level. So it will be a spellcraft check on your end.
So what is so I just roll what?
It's a D20. You actually have a skill called spellcraft. It's an intelligence-based skill.
Oh, do I?
Yep, it's down under S. It's how you make spells.
Yeah, that's crazy. Great thing I'm not intelligent, so we'll see how this works. 14.
You fail. The DC was 16.
Yeah,
you watch as the spell goes off, or the magic goes off, and then as the light calm or kind of dissipates, you see as Regan Utham seems to jet past you at top speeds, only recognizing him for a moment, Kesnok himself, because of the feeling you get from when you saw his scythe. You see as this frost giant goes sprinting past, and I mean at top speeds. This man can run like 600 feet per second for 6 seconds. So as you feel for a moment that feeling of dread and hatred, the emotion coming off that weapon, you taking a realization that Utham is heading towards that city. You watch, you guys see the city itself. kind of becoming a new epicenter of cataclysm and destruction. As you watch a airship kind of coming towards the city itself, one that looks different than the one you'd seen that first day that had crashed. That seems to be coming towards the town. What would you guys like to do?
So how far are we from the town? Like travel
About,
I assume.
So you are roughly about 2 more days, 4 more days till you'll get there.
Guess there's nothing we really can do.
Run faster.
Keznok goes back, rolls up his blanket, goes back to bed.
He's like,
This is
I guess
just
there's nothing I really
Napoleon.
can do.
This is just Napoleon's. There's nothing we can do.
Like it's 4 days out, guys. Might as well get some rest.
Ned kind of nods, lays back down, and goes to sleep.
Oh my god, Dom is not happy with this decision.
Look,
Is the hold we just came from, like, look to be destroyed or in any way damaged, or was it just...
As you look over, you don't see anything now. As you kind of looking up towards it, there looks to be people at the opening that you can kind of make out just barely, like there's specks that have popped up. But it seems to kind of dissipate as these specks disappear after a few moments.
So, not destroyed, but something happened. I guess there's probably... I mean, it's clear the group's probably not going to be convinced to set out early.
Keznok's storing currently.
Yeah, honk shoe, me.
Actually, I'm actually
Meditating?
a morning bird.
Oh.
You see, I actually get up pretty early in the morning to do my rituals.
Donald will just stay watched then. Probably keeping an eye on like the hold, the city Uthan just ran to, and then on the runes in the sky, trying to see if anything with them changes, if anything with them, like if a giant spell starts to activate, I'm going to wake the group up so we can attempt to not die.
Okay. Yeah. As you stay on guard duty, Uldren, what about you?
Well, my running speed is not fast enough to get or do 4 days travel in one night.
It's true.
I
So
don't think my monk speed's at that level yet either.
Yeah.
I mean, again, Utham did just run 600 feet every 6 seconds. This man is a machine.
One
Alright.
day I'll get there.
so I'm not gonna do this, but maybe if you carry me on your back, Dom, and run until you get exhausted, then we can swap places and we can do it until I get exhausted.
Do either of us have
Are you trying to
considerable
optimize
way,
fucking like
thousands of
horse
pounds?
trading and stuff like that? Like running till the horse is exhausted.
Apparently.
Keep going.
Pretty much, but no. So this,
We both.
Yeah.
There's no way our strengths are strong. We could barely lift a single corpse together as a group. There's no way we can carry each other.
Yeah.
how much do you weigh?
If you guys want to pull it off, I'm all ears. But I'm gonna ask: are you going to abandon Keznanok and Ned in the middle of nowhere?
No, I'm not going anywhere.
Why,
This
we
was a
could
joke.
take the
Okay.
wolf. No.
It's-
That would be even worse.
100, and that's life for Dom.
Yep. But if you take the wolf, that would be even worse because then Keznanok and Ned are stuck with the wagon, and one of them has to pull the wagon.
The
And
wolf also needs sleep. It has been pulling the wagon all day.
I meant
Yeah.
the wagon and the wolf, but the idea of us just taking the wolf and running is hilarious.
But
Ned can druid shape.
True.
Maybe, like wild.
he cannot yet. He is not that high level enough of a druid, I don't believe.
Oh, that sucks.
Alright, so Uldren, are you just gonna kind of stay up with Dom, or are you gonna kind of pass out?
I want to say I want to do a half sleep. Like I'll try my best to be perceptive, but also try to sleep as much as I can.
Okay, so basically, in case basically a light sleeper. So
Sure
okay,
you're gonna be awake.
you can.
As much as Dom has had issues with your character recently, he would swap watches.
It's 6 hours till daylight.
Awake.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
What are we doing?
So,
Okay.
begrudgingly suggest this to you, perhaps.
All right, we're gonna roll something then.
Our wagon explodes.
Okay. Who's taking first watch of the two of you?
I think Dom said they would take the first watch.
Okay. As the night
feeling lucky? Okay, I guess I'm feeling lucky.
As the night goes on, the first 2 hours seem uneventful. On the third hour, Dom, give me a search check.
Can't be listen.
Nope.
Please.
I mean, if you want to close your eyes and listen for the things popping up, I'm okay with it. I'll let you roll a listen check instead.
I'm like a bat. I've got to echo.
All right, yeah, fully roll your wisdom. Let's see what you got. Let's go.
Wait, what about spot? What about a spot check? Because I'm spotting it from a
Sure. I'll take a spot check.
Okay. I'm glad that worked. Thank you. 26. Holy cow.
As you're sitting there, you feel something warm on the back of your neck, as if something as big as breathing on you. As you turn kind of around or slightly kind of look out of your side eye without turning your head fully, there doesn't seem to be anything there.
Do I get the feeling from the breath, like the amount of draft and heat, what the size difference would be between me and this thing? Because
you're sitting
pretty big.
Yeah, but you're sitting in the carriage, so you're only about 6 feet off the ground. This figure would either have to be standing slightly on the wagon, or basically standing up right next to you.
So Donander, he's a monk. He doesn't have a weapon to draw. He is already armed and dangerous. So he's going to be prepared to basically spin around and sucker punch something, air, creature, another party member, whoever. Instead is if it's someone playing a prank, instead he's going to speak up and just ask, are you the person who's been taking our food? Or the creature, perhaps? And wait for a response.
Young dummy boy. How you are such a fool to try and leave food out and make a deal with myself, but I do appreciate the offer. I hope you understand, I have prior obligations to the group that doesn't quite like you, but I was wondering, did your group enjoy my light show?
Do I recognize his voice?
You do. This sounds just like Jakix.
Noted. Okay. I figured it was him or Buloff, and I didn't think Buloff could turn invisible. So Dom fights the urge to roll his eyes, and is just going to look at where, like, the runes are, and will go, it's quite impressive craftsmanship. What do they mean? And he's going to slightly, not much, subtly speak louder in an attempt to maybe have more perceptive party members hear what's happening.
Ned, Aldrin, and Kesdenok, it's a silent night. It's quiet and enjoyable. The winds are quite loud, but yeah.
Why does this guy hate me in particular? What did I do?
He you hear him go, "Oh, I do appreciate you trying, but you don't think I'm that dumb, do you?" Now,
I don't know you, so actually, I don't. No. You could have been.
it's true, but a merchant always has a trick or two up his sleeve to make deals with folks like yourself, and I do have such a deal that I think you might be interested in taking.
I'm not quite fond of deals, but go on.
I have an investor who is interested in your party's growth and experience and capability. Let's say a mutual friend, one that pays me quite handsomely. I am willing to offer you, in a sense, a deal of safety. I will guarantee you a ride to whatever city you'd like to go to, in exchange that you leave these lands and get out of my way. As I found you keep running into my... let's call them plans for now.
Sorry, there is...
No, you're good.
IRL dog barking, and I don't know if you guys can hear that or not.
We can. You're fine.
You're good, though.
He's going to... Can I sense motive? I know I've been doing that a lot, but Dom is trying to genuinely figure out who this mutual friend / investor is. Like, he's obviously trying to determine if this is just a complete and utter trap, if this is an actual deal, but he's also specifically, I want to try to determine if I can get a read or guess on who this person might be.
Yeah, go ahead and roll.
And that'll be, oh my gosh, I'm getting so many 19s, guys. This is great. This is the best I've ever rolled. 22.
Did I really?
Oh, yeah.
23. You still just barely beat him.
This dude, I gave him food and he's lowered his guard. It was the plan all along.
You think for a moment, and you try to come up with the only person you've heard this guy works with is the Golden Heart Merchant Company that Uldren was given the card of during your guys' mission yesterday. That's but other than that, you
that again?
The Golden Heart Merchant Company. Yep. Here, I'll put it in the chat.
Okay. Yeah. Golden Heart Merchant Co. Okay. Do I get from that check the sense of this is a genuine, I will give you a deal because I need you out of my sight and it's better to bribe you, or is this a, yeah, make a contract with me, I totally won't kill you?
As you get the sense that this gentleman is that would be the only commonality you have, and as you try to discern what he and this person would want, the only thing that comes to mind is that your chaos is causing the problems for his merchant company, which makes sense because most people would probably see you a lot as a red flag for when things are about to happen, given what happened in Hermpersh's last hold. When you showed up, everything went to shit. Attacks started happening, and people started kind of looking at you as if you were the cause of it. Or like a bad omen, if you will. That's bad for merchant businesses. And if he's trying to set up a merchant business, and that's what this is about, then yeah, you would be a problem. So
Okay.
that's
So
what you
Dom
discern.
kind of processes that, and I think a bit of the his guard doesn't entirely drop, but a bit of he was probably like preparing some sort of dodge or attack maneuver, and I think he kind of cancels that in his brain as he's processing the deal, and kind of just tilts his head, still not turning around, but like clearly showing that he's thinking and considering. We'll go, does your business involve anything that would harm Utham or his reign here? And is still like tuned into like, you know, I'm basically still trying to use that sense motive, like pitch of the voice, sound of movement, to determine if he's like BSing the answer he gives me.
He goes, dear Dom, you don't... I would never look to harm a leader such as Utham. As individually, I don't even think I would be capable of holding a candle to his power. So no, I have no plans to cause harm to him or his people by my hands. That would be quite a difficult task given, if you haven't noticed, the size difference between the two of us. As you can feel an eerie smile behind you.
By your hand is an interesting choice of words, wouldn't you say?
Well, I can't promise what my master would do, and I cannot speak of what people who may join my this company, well, not my company, his company, in the going future. But I can speak to my own actions. As you feel something dissipates around you, and Kesnanok, Uldren, and Ned, you suddenly start to hear the voice, the person's voice suddenly, as you almost brought to from your sleep, almost purposefully. And he goes, "But if you don't leave soon, you will be the cause of Utham's downfall. Isn't that right, Kesnanok?" And he says that, you feel the presence dissipate behind you. I just kind of... What? What the... Uldren, who I imagine has been listening to the entire conversation, as it would have been long before, even for him to get to sleep.
Yeah.
You look over, you see Kesnok look up, hearing his name, and looking about like, what the hell? The voice dissipates, and you feel the presence dissipates as well. You do not see him anymore. However, as you turn to look around, Dom, you do feel in your like on your back something like stuck on it. And as Ned kind of wakes up, similarly to Kesnanok, he goes, "Hey, Dom, why do you got some shiny thing on your back that says Zopip on it?"
Huh? I mean, listen, Kez doesn't know what that is, but I know.
As he kind of he grabs it and pulls it off, and he pulls out, and it's a little ticket that reads, "This is good for one free ride with Zopip Airlines."
I mean, I guess that's mighty convenient.
He looks at Kesnanok with, like, intense eyes, kind of narrows them, and goes, "What did he mean by that?"
By what? Oh, so I'm still waking up.
Would you like me to help wake you up quicker?
Listen, I'm not intentionally doing anything. I am probably the reason of things happening as much as you, or Uldren, or Ned is. Listen, I'm still trying to figure out what the whole, actually, never mind, I'm not going to say what was going on, because I still don't know what's going on, so I'm not going to worry y'all about it. But, like, you know, I kind of want to see what that ship explosion was. But I guess we have to leave here, otherwise we're going to get our shit rocked, right? And I don't want anything to happen to Utham, because he seemed like a pretty cool guy. And I know you, Dom, you have a soft spot for the guy. I think it being your mentor or something.
Roll his eyes at that, like a subtle eye roll.
But hey, you know, I understand having a love for a parental figure, and wanting to make sure that they stay safe and have at least the easiest time possible dealing with things. So can I see that, so is there any, like, fine print on that ticket? Let me see.
As Ned kind of just hands it over to you, I imagine.
Not hand you the ticket.
Oh, is Dom gonna take? Okay, all right.
No, I thought I had it.
No, Ned took it off your back, as I mentioned.
Ned handed it to me.
No, he just took it off your back.
I would take it. I would
Okay.
try to intervene and grab it first.
Yeah, no, Ned's not gonna stop you as you just take it out of his hand.
Motive this person. So Dom takes it and holds it, and he will look for fine print.
Alright.
Wow, the distrust already.
Kesnok, you see as he kind of Dom just kind of takes the ticket and looks at it instead, as you just kind of get that, like, oh, okay.
I mean, alright. Cool, I get, you know, you can do that. I'm just gonna go back to bed, I guess. Good fucking night.
Night rolls over for the third time to go to sleep, hopefully uninterrupted.
Dear God, I hope you don't wake me up again.
But yeah, alright, go ahead and give me a sense motive, Dom.
Wake you up. Okay, yeah, I'll sense motive, and I guess I'm also gonna look at this ticket, so I guess I don't know, sense motive.
Well, I thought that, or well, you're just looking.
Sense motivating me!
Oh, that's what I thought you were doing. I thought you were sense motivating,
Motivating you, but...
I mean, you can.
Too, but I also do want to actually look for fine print on the ticket.
What's up, Uldren?
18.
18.
No, I was just croaking.
Okay. 18, and is that a sense motive on the ticket, or is that a sense motive on the, on Kesnanok?
It's not on the ticket. it, guys. That was a
Okay,
joke. Funny to do, and now I'm very tempted to with Wolf's comment in the chat. It is for Kesdenok.
Kesdenok, would you like to roll, or would you like to say, wait, before I ask that, what are you trying to, ascertain from, Kesdenok?
What are you trying to figure out from me? I'm confused.
Basically, you just were like, hey, buddy, don't get mad at me. Bad things are happening. I might be at fault, but I think Utham's chill, and I don't want nothing bad to happen. So you're basically like, hey, this is kind of all our faults. Don't be mad. So he's trying to basically tell if you're, like, BSing. Like, if you're just BSing, if you've got a secret plan.
I've got no
He thinks you're suspicious. I will say, Dom, as you kind of look him over, you look at Kesdenok, he looks like he is honestly, he is completely just as in shock and surprise as you are to what's going on. He does seem to be hiding something slightly, but what you get is the same, given the fact that he also told you about the 3 days prophecy he had, you're not 100% sure if he's hiding a prophecy that's bothering him, and that he's not 100% sure on, or if he's got something else that he's hiding. The only thing you're 100% sure of is that Kesdenok has no idea who these people are, or what they're doing, as far as it goes. And doesn't seem to have any ill intent towards Utham outright.
I guess, sensing that, Nunzer will kind of sigh. And I know, your character, he's like rolled over, like, pulled his legs up, like, Kez is like, oh, don't talk to me, I'm angry.
I'm fucking done.
So Dom is just gonna walk over and, like, I assume your back's to him, so, like, in front of your face, we'll drop the ticket for you to see and say, look, I don't mean to cause issues. We have worked well as a party until recent, and I do trust your strengths and skills. However, you have to admit it would be foolish of me to blindly have faith in any of you. I believe what you're saying. I believe we should leave, as much as I also want to head towards the crash.
I did very well clock out. Like you are speaking.
Yeah, I imagine Dom kind of crawls into the wagon as he's trying to say this. Kesdenok's face kind of towards Uldren. Uldren's kind of looking down at Kesdenok, like looking to see if he's sleeping. Realizing Uldren's just like trying not to be disrespectful and like let them have you two have your moment while Kez is out cold.
I am.
letting you think that he's actually listening and letting you think that he's caring.
I've been hunting for days on end. I'm exhausted.
I've been helping you.
Yeah, as you tell him this, I imagine Uldren's kind of like writing down the basic spark notes to tell Kesdenok in the morning.
Yeah.
So Dom, I think it's a silence, Dom. Well, the thing is, let me check Dom's intelligence, because...
With the sense, I mean, you can roll to see if you can roll... Actually, you know what? Here's what we'll do.
Perception, right?
Yeah, that'd be a spot check. Let's see if you can tell. You can either do a spot or a heal check, depending on... Because heal would be a health, to see if he's sleeping. Yep.
No, I wanted to know if I think he's asleep, or if
He's
I think
faking.
he gave me the cold shoulder, because they will have very different roleplay implications.
Yeah, go ahead. Roll me a spot.
I'm waiting for
Oh my gosh, wait a second. No way.
Rolls on that one.
11, I did not get a good roll.
As you're kind of, you're listening and kind of saying all this, Dom, you're not 100% sure if Kesdenok is, listening or not, because of the fact that you see you keep seeing Uldren kind of keeps looking up at you and looking down and kind of smiling as if, you kind of get the sense that, from this, that either Kesdenok is, like, actually out cold, or he is, just not, this is his way of, accepting your apology without having to go overboard and bothering you about it.
Okay, so Dom,
It's a toss-up, you're not sure.
This is not a...
This isn't a personal attack, no.
Not a hostile... Yeah, okay. So Dom will lean over, I guess, to grab the ticket he dropped, because he's not leaving it with a sleeping person, and will look at Uldren and just, because he's the only person who's awake, and go, it's your turn to take watch, and I'm going to get settled into my bedroll and leave.
Snuggling up next to.
No problem to deal with now, buddy.
Yeah, they're kind of snuggling up to Ned. All right. You kind of get into your bedroll and in the wagon, and you kind of start to. Go ahead.
I was gonna say we also get the wolf in here for body heat, I imagine, because none of us are native frost giants.
That's true. Yeah, I imagine they're sleeping in the group. As Uldren, as you kind of climb over to the front of the wagon, it's still pretty cold. Like, it's chilly as motherfucker outside. You have cold weather gear, like winter gear as far as it goes. But as you kind of sit out, you sit down. Give me a search check, as you kind of start to spot for people. Our great and fearless party leader over here, Kesnanok.
15.
You kind of watch, and as the night continues on, it's almost kind of quiet. You watch eventually as Utham goes sprinting past you, kind of waving towards him as you realize he's not looking or paying attention to you as he sprints past at top breakneck speeds. As you can see the anger in his eyes. You kind of determine it not worth going and bothering him. The night goes on without any more interruptions. As the rest of the, is there anything, well, before I move on, Uldren, is there anything you wanted to do during your 3-hour watch?
No.
No? Okay. As you, have spend the next, few days, your next 4 days heading towards town, you get to watch, you finally make it into the edge of town as you see many of the buildings being rebuilt. The city looks like it's just gone through an attack of some sort, as houses have been blown to hell, as if something just came running right through them and collided through the center, destroying them. Bodies are still being cleaned up. As far as what's on the ticket, the fine print, there isn't any fine print, Dom. What you read on there is the ticket just simply reads, this ticket is good for one ride with the Zilpip airline or ship lines. We will take you anywhere you like. In exchange for whoever got this ticket, your favor has been paid. Meaning I do not owe you, and it's like underlined in like in bolden. Yeah, as you guys finally get to the town, though, you see on the edge of town a large airship that has been parked, and seems to have a full crew of what looks to be like dwarves and dragonkin, kind of stocking up on supplies. The rest of the town seems very wary as you guys come into town. You hear a couple of them whisper, just as I'll give this to you as a freebie here, as you're kind of mushing in, talking about, like, last time adventurers came through, the town being blown up, and there being that one apex creature that tried to attack. There's also a bunch of rumors and stories about the Pale Eye being killed nearby, and that there's a curse on the lands from that dying. People seem to kind of eye you warily. Even the few people you recognize, Dom, in town, like such as the well, first off, you recognize the building called Graal's Arsenal that used to be ran by a decent friend of Utham's named Yuke, that looks to have been completely destroyed and looted. As you look over towards it. The inn itself that you see, where you recognize Drekken, a small Eric Cochrane that looks to be about 2 to 3 feet tall, running it, seems to kind of watch you lot with an expression of just sadness and kind of shoos you lot away as soon as you come close to the inn. But as you are looking about, you do see a small, what you assume to be a midget dwarf, a dwarf with dwarfism, if you will. As you see a long, semi-long-haired, assuming he... Well, you know what? Actually, why doesn't he introduce how he looks? Because I imagine he's customized a bit for what the first age is.
Hello. I have customized. Here. Let me just upload this. So you guys can kind of see. He looks maybe different than the the players might remember him just slightly. He's kind of got a little more makeshift, kind of steampunky mask on.
Oh my god, he's German.
like full like white silverish hair, like he just got electrocuted, shocked back, and like no like visible like bandolier or pouches, but he has like a backpack that you can see like different just it crammed full of vials and different like glass tubes and beakers, shit that you don't really
glassware that you'd consider as you look
don't
at it, it'd be the same as like a nobleman's like a house. Like this is quality that would be
like
valued at high level.
Fancy ass potions in these.
The big Air Doctor vibes. You are correct.
Doctor.
And you see this young looking dwarf kind of in the middle of the road talking to one of the a very large looking druid fellow who's covered head to toe in moss, long greenish beard, who looks to be a frost giant. And as the two kind of finish up their conversation, Zilpip, you see off to the side this group of exhausted looking half fire giants and some fire giants, a green giant that you've never seen before, like literally he is green skinned, and being with a wagon that's pretty well crafted being carried by a wolf. You can also sense the ticket on them that they are carrying.
Interesting. Excuse me. Hail.
What language do you say this in, Zilpip, out of curiosity?
What language have I mostly been using here?
It'd be mostly giant, yeah, very old giant. So your accent would be a little crude.
Yes, my accent.
Damn, you would. All right.
Hail, my friends. Speaking to you guys in giant with a shitty accent.
Yeah. Hail, sir. What's up?
What is up? Do you happen to have a flight ticket?
Yeah. Dom. You still have that ticket, yeah?
Dom, who's on mute right now, kind of holds out the ticket.
Yeah, we got this a couple days.
Oh, welcome back.
I wasn't.
Bring back the
Dom
Jamaican
will,
accent.
upon Kez mentioning it, will nod and pull it out, but not hand it yet. Instead, he looks at the tiny figure and goes, "Are you the Zilpip on the ticket?"
Why, yes, I am the Zilpip. How did you get your hands on one of those?
I look at Tom because I got no fucking clue.
Yeah, I'm, to be clear, I'm 1 foot 9 inches tall. Like,
Man's not even up to my fucking knee.
I'm not as high as you.
At your wagon, just sitting on it, the wagon actually shrinks you down because of the fact that it's kind of like this wagon was designed so that way you guys could also use this with any of the other any of the lesser mortals, as giants would call them. Yeah, because dragons and giants consider themselves the top creatures of the world.
Does it make me grow when I get in it?
No, but I will say that you are still you're down to short to the ground for a normal giant's wagon. This is very short. And Zilpip is still tiny. He doesn't even make it up to the axle of this wagon. So, for your own reference.
I'm 15 feet or more taller than you.
Yeah.
I am 16
100%.
foot 9. So
You also notice most of the people who do business with him kind of lean down to talk.
Oh yeah.
So, but go ahead.
You ask where how Dom got the ticket, and Dom kind of is regarding you. I've been doing so many sense motives. I hate to say it, but
Insight.
This is gonna be the feat. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. What are you trying to go ahead and roll? What are you trying to learn from or figure out from Zilpip in the ticket?
Basically, Dom's just going to say that depends. Do you need to know how we got it for us to use it? And I will say that and get his reaction before I roll. But basically, I'm just trying to determine, is this like an item we are not supposed to have? Like, is this a top secret, like blacklisted, like, you getting this item means like some shit went down? Or is he just like, I'm no longer selling these. How did you, like, is this a merchant concern? Is this like a secret society type concern? Like, what level of are we dealing with here? And is it giving information
I
for
fucking
that
love
so I'm
that.
trying to figure out,
That
like,
would be a great feat to have.
That is such a great one.
Who wants paranoia?
honestly, I might consider it.
Dom already is.
Yeah.
Listen, it's this session in particular. I did get a 20, by the way, not nat.
20?
Dirty 20. 20 is trying too hard.
Yep. As you look at Zilpip, how do you what's your outwardly expression? Well, you have a mask on. So from his body language, actually, rather, let's see. From his body language, Zilpip, what do you want to give away?
From his body language, with the 20, you pretty easily gather he's not aggressive.
Hostile.
If anything, he's actively jovial right now.
Okay.
Yeah.
Actively jovial is such a funny way to phrase that. I love it.
But I will say, you can't see his face because the mask is covering his face, so he does seem to keep his face completely, like, even the glass itself, it seems to be slightly tinted enough to where you can't see his eyes underneath it.
Yeah, but Zilpip responds, well, I simply don't give those out very often, and the few people who I've given them out to, I simply thought they would want to use them. And seeing as I do not remember giving you one, I was just wondering how you got it. If you don't want to tell me, that's fine. Keep your secrets. It matters very little how or why you have it. Just whether or not you want to use it.
That suits me fine. I got it in a deal with someone I assume is a associate of yours, to some degree, in the matters of business.
What's their name?
This. You know what? I don't care about this person's secrecy at all, so Dom will willingly give us information. Let me find the full name, because we got the full name.
It takes more.
Yeah, I'll post. Oh, yeah, I can post it.
The name is Jakix Morin.
Yeah.
So, that's the name. The Dom Honor just will full give you that name. Zero hesitation.
Jakix Morin.
And I assume the party's also hearing that I got the ticket from that guy, who I don't know if they know he's been terrorizing me like he has been, but...
Hey, I don't know what kind of flirting games that you play with that guy. That's none of my business.
Kesnok, you suddenly feel your pinky finger has suddenly become slightly shorter to the knuckle.
Well, that's not very nice.
I'm joking, of course, but that is a forewarning shot.
Whoa. Jakix. I can't say I recognize the name. So it must have been traded multiple times.
Might be an...
But...
Or an alias he gave to us.
Well, possibly, or to myself. It matters not. Are you looking to board?
try and look at the party to see the party's reaction.
We have a
yes, sir.
ship heading off north. North?
North is the direction that we're looking for.
It is indeed.
Well, how fortuitous. Tell me, are any of you spellcasters?
I'm of the divine nature. I'm a cleric.
The divine, interesting. Any of the arcane?
I don't know, bro. I think we're all divine in nature.
I will say, as
No,
you,
that's nature.
yeah, as you look in, you see the green giant, but you do see his staff, and it doesn't take much for Zilpip to put two and two together that this guy's a druid.
Yeah.
He's either a druid or he's a monk that likes green paint.
Aldrin, do you deal in the arcane?
That's my job.
No, I don't.
Yeah, I figured.
Well, fair
yeah,
enough.
sorry, bro.
Hey, no worries.
The wolf shakes its head.
Thought I'd mix a little bit of business and pleasure, but that's no matter. Please, we can take your belongings and stow them in your assigned rooms, or you can be led to your rooms individually. Whichever your choice, will probably take off before sunset. Don't be late.
Yeah.
We leave on time.
I will say, as Zilpip points back towards the ship you see, it has a large on the sail has a large depiction of a storm giant sacrificial tower painted red on it. And you see the little flag above of it is a black flag with a skull that has a tower on either side of it, like one of the sacrificial towers.
What do these mean to me, as I did spend a lot of my early years growing up in storm giant territory?
To all of you who are giants, it's not hard to put two and two together. These are that's a sky pirate ship. But to Kezenok specifically, you can roll a history check. As far as it goes, if you have nobility, history, royalty, I'll take any of those. For knowledge, or it's just a general knowledge check at that point, which is an intelligence check.
I'll do knowledge history with a nat 20. Fuck.
For what total?
20.
Oh, 20.
Nat 20 for 20.
All right.
I don't have a plus to my intelligence.
Hey, that's fair. So with the nat 20, you look at this for a moment, and you, thinking back on it, you would recognize this as the third largest storm giant sky pirate organization, one of the more powerful ones that had enough men to topple cities by themselves. You'd heard rumors only about half a year ago that their leader had gotten a bit older and gone insane, but you don't remember anybody saying that a dwarf took them over, and there's no way the storm giants would serve a dwarf, as you kind of look over at the ship. So you kind of put, something's either fishy about this Zilpip fella, he's someone else that he's not giving off, or this is a trap.
Do I see them eyeing the flag?
Oh yeah, and it doesn't say the very large pirate flag is yeah.
If I've given you any cause to hesitate,
Tying you up.
please rest assured. We fly these flags for safety. This ship was taken over some time ago, and relatively easily. And we house no pirates or creatures of ill intent here.
That's fine by me. I mean, I grew up with, these guys.
Oh, you grew up with these guys.
Well,
Are you a pirate?
You say that as you look around, assuming to find storm giant crew, but as you look about, you don't see anything that looks like a storm giant crew. You don't see a single storm giant at all. You do see a bunch of tabaxi, some kobolds, a few what looks to be some strange looking like illithid like creatures that like are like squid like almost. that are walking about. They also all bear the same marking that you recognize, Kesnanok. They bear the same marking of slaves, minus the gentleman that's standing in front of you who's completely covered in clothing.
That's... I'm not gonna bet my eye on that. Yeah, I mean, hey, I was raised with the storm giants. As you can see, I'm a fire giant, but I'm half storm giant.
He says
by my mother.
I will say, he says, just to give a depiction, as he says this, you do see this, like, half the size of all the other giants, very effeminate and beautiful, young. You're not sure if it's a male or female, in like, holy robes. But yeah, go ahead, sorry, Kesnanok.
Yeah, grew up, for at least a good portion of my life, with my mother in the Sky Giant territories. After a while, she sent me down to live with my dad over in the Fire Giant lands. So yeah, I saw those guys
do you
around.
have, by any chance, any fiend in you?
Fiend? Not
Yes.
that I know of.
Oh. Well, no worries.
Sorry,
You
that's what you
remind
were
me
looking for.
of an old friend. That's no worries at all. I won't lie, I certainly did not see the storm giant in you, but
It really only like comes out when I get very emotional. Lightning starts to spark out, but
how fun. Maybe stay a little further away from me. I'm flammable.
I'm already a fire giant, but yeah, no, I got you.
All the fire giants.
It's because you just kind of, I imagine, kind of like shoos you a little more a few feet away.
Yeah, I like take a couple very tiny steps back because I'm a very tiny guy.
Yeah, man, yeah, no, I got you.
My backpack like clanking with glass vials.
Yeah, Dom
What?
hears that and just thinks about how, as a monk martial fighter, easy it would be to break all those bottles if this tiny creature got into a fight. Just the practicality of it.
Mhm.
It has to be magically enchanted. That's all that's going through his head. It has to be magically enchanted. There's no way.
Do I see this huge ass monk sizing me up?
It's pretty easy to tell.
You have like the fight though.
The majority of the party has been kind of eyeing you up a little bit throughout this, just as they do seem a bit more cautious and paranoid than what you're accustomed to for adventurers.
Oh, that's fine. That's no matter. Well, please, if you have any other business to attend before we take off, we have a little bit, but if you're looking to board now, I can show you to your dorms.
Do we
yeah,
need to go shopping still? And I'll look at Kez.
I don't need to be shopping for anything right now.
As Kez, I imagine, like pats his his very empty purse sack.
I mean, I got a few coins left,
I
but
saved the money we got.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I agree. We don't have the most money. Do we not want to go and buy some more rations?
are we not going on a ship?
We just got.
I mean,
Yeah, we just got like five. Is food included? And I'll ask Zilph that.
Well, of course. What kind of businessman do you think I am?
I mean, I assume so.
Hopefully, one that provides food.
Yeah, right. Yeah, I mean,
Good God, you are
Zilpip,
a grumpy little guy, aren't you?
you catch on that manners were not invented until many ages after this.
Yeah, I can tell. There's like no like gentlemanly like chivalry. Everyone's just like
Direct.
super direct, at least in these lands.
Listen, my manners went out the window when I almost got attacked this morning.
Um,
I guess Dom was. Does the wolf do magic? What?
uh,
Oh.
Well,
I'm pretty sure the wolf shook his head no.
gotcha,
no,
gotcha.
yeah, he did shake his head no earlier. Yeah, as you...
Zilpip,
That's hilarious.
kind of as he's leading them up,
Mhm.
Zilpip whispers over to the wolf, "Would you like to learn magic, my friend?"
You see the wolf kind of tilts his head at you. It just kind of starts walking, continues walking as it pulls the wagon.
Dope.
Yeah, they pull on. When you pull on, you see this is about a 4-decked ship with 2 lines of full-on cannons. This is a ship that was designed for war and to do combat. There's a lot of customization to it, where lots there are front-facing cannons to it. Boarding gear that has been designed with magic to shoot off as soon as a switch is hit towards the cap or the helm. As you look about, there is gold, fine wood. This ship is decked out and was made by a fine craftsman. The crew seems to be a very mixed race. Like I said with the earlier grouping, you also start to spot some orcs, a few gnolls, a couple of tortoise races that you're not familiar with immediately as you see them. Oh no, because you guys are fire giants. You know, you'd recognize the Tuertas and I forget the other name. And then, as well as a few Heliovali who seem to be working amongst the crew, though they also are branded with the marks that show them not having magic. This crew, as you recognize, looks to be a slave ship, or what was a slave ship. A few moments of looking about puts this together that you looking back at Zilpip, it makes you realize someone probably tried to kidnap him, and he led a slave revolt on the ship and took it.
Oh, Julius Caesar style.
Yeah, as you look about, there's still blood being, kind of mopped up in some areas.
There's, a whole lot of, scorch marks and shit.
Yeah.
That have, since been repaired what needs to be repaired. There's still a lot of, blackened wood.
Yeah, noticing a small Kraken, a small Kraken trophy hung up over the captain's quarters, doorway. The ship looks like it was definitely stolen. This Zilpip either grabbed this himself or something happened. Go ahead, Dom.
There's
we're gonna be all right.
On the head of the ship, there's just a massive fucking drac head. It's like 30 feet long.
As you look over at it, yep. But yeah, as you guys board, he is Zilpip. One of your crew members kind of offers to show them and take the wolf and the cab or the wagon down below deck to get everything taken care of while you finish up business.
Yes, of course. Show them every luxury.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead, Dom.
As we're touring the ship before Zilpip leaves, I think Donander putting 2 and 2 together and seeing the evidence of Zilpip's I don't even know, exploits would have to give this tiny man a lot more respect, and I think would even go as we're walking I admire your work here, just as a sign of respect for kind of his kind of hostile behavior earlier.
Oh, of course. Can I tell you a secret? Come, lean down. Come here. And I wait till he's basically prone.
I was gonna say, don't fucking do the plank.
And I get on my tiptoes and whisper into his ear, offering no further explanation. The secret, my friend, is piss. And I walk away.
No! Not again!
I'm making them at night.
Not again!
Here's this. There's a look of confusion, and then there's a little bit of look of consideration as he starts to think about things.
As Zilpip flutters off down the gangplank going back into town to finish up business.
When I was stranded in the wilderness, I had to drink that, but what if I weaponize it?
God damn. You see another group, as you guys kind of are getting ready to go below deck, you see another man seems to kind of board an actual looking snow dwarf who seems kind of skinnier and with a slightly brownish beard, or a brownish mustache, no beard, that he kind of twirls, similar to how Pierre did. The guy looks to be in full merchant's clothing, kind of climbs on and kind of waves over at you lot and goes, "Oh, I'm glad you got my ticket. I just came to see you off." He goes, "You've never seen this guy before." This is just a random dwarf that has that's a merchant dwarf with a fancy mustache, with a brown mustache, rather than white.
Does he look at all familiar to the one dwarf, half dwarf, snow dwarf, whatever it was, dwarven figure that was at the clinic prior to the explosion?
He does not.
Damn, I thought I connected some dots there.
However, as you start to connect those dots, you realize that person looked a lot like James, the third member of Essa's little group that you only briefly got to see from a few moments in Utham's castle, or city.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's something to consider. Dom is going to look at Kesnanak, the honorary leader and social graces of the party, to deal with this situation.
Mr. Half Asleep.
I'm on the ship.
Yeah, this is the guy. He climbed onto the ship to, and it just seemed to be saying this to you guys before you went below deck.
Bye, I guess.
The guy goes, all right, well, okay. No, he kind of just nods and says, have a good trip and best of luck on your new adventures. If you, by the way, if you see the Ironheart Merchant Company, make sure to give them my, love, we'll call it, as he smiles. Kind of like putting his hands together and like rubbing them slightly as he says this.
Oh, who are you again?
Oh, my name's Zarius. Apologies.
Ah, yeah, I don't know who that is.
You know what?
I'm sorry, I've been in the books for divine and prayer for quite a while. I don't know a lot of the inner workings of the social hierarchies of the world. Please forgive me.
I spent the last several years on a monthly voyage in the wilderness, disconnected from all society.
Well, you met my employee. You literally saved him.
Oh, he's 1,000 years. Oh, I mean that's cool. Glad he got out safe.
You're the investor then.
Oh, yes. Well, no, yes, and no. I'm the guy who represents the investor. That was one of my employees. I was in the middle of a deal in town. It was a whole thing.
Well, I'm glad to, cause,
back to the explosion we witnessed.
Cause, you run the Golden Heart.
Yeah, correct.
Gotcha. Well, cause you're a merchant company. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. You met my employee, Jakix, he kind of waves at Uldren. He goes, he told me you saved him.
Yeah,
Yes.
I believe, from what Dom told us, he showed up a few days ago and, gave us the ticket that we're about to be using to go north.
Yes, this was my way of paying you back and helping an investor that was interested in you lot. I hope you don't mind, and I apologize for going about in such a weird way. Jakix was in the area. I was in town busy with something. My the house I was staying in got destroyed by a giant Arctic mane and kind of threw me during the whole thing. So it was a horrible thing. I ended up trying to chase that all down, and then a big light show happened in town. I don't know. It was a big cluster.
Oh, no worries. I appreciate this ticket. I was intending on going all the way up north to that adventuring town, anyways. Maybe some opportunities up there. So really appreciate that.
Oh, you're going. Oh, I'll let Zilpip. I'll let the captain know for you. And he kind of nods. He says, "Well, I don't want to keep you long. You have a good time, and if you ever see my company, feel free to let them know that you're friends of Zarius, and they'll give you a discount on any of the goods we're selling."
Oh, that's very kind of you, sir. Thank you very much.
He goes, "Listen, I couldn't afford to pay for a new employee like that. You have no idea how much you saved me on that one." And he kind of bows and turns and walks off and goes and lets Zilpip know to drop the party off at Diamond's Court. But as the guy, as the orc from earlier kind of goes to show you lot down below, Dom's still contemplating the whole piss thing. You lot get shown to individual rooms, seeing how magically innate this whole ship is, and how much the ship probably would have cost, and how many years it took for this pirate crew to get something like this built up to. Each of the rooms seem to customize to your own liking. Handcrafted. This is a high enchanted item. As you see, the magical runes seem to glow. The magic coming off of this thing. For those who would be able to, if you could cast Arcane, you'd be able to tell the amount of power that goes into this. Just activating these rooms. But as each of you find yourselves in your rooms, kind of going and relaxing, spending your time in your cabins, the Zilpip boards his ship after finishing up business and sets off sailing to Diamond's Court. Yes, Uldren?
I didn't say anything.
Okay, making sure. And as the ship starts heading off, we're going to end session there. And next session will be 9 months later, so the party has, between now and then, 9 months worth of actions that they get to take to do training or anything else, or they can just sleep and not do anything.
Nice.
So
I'm getting feeds.
We thank you all for watching. We hope we'll see you next time.